Right, so time for a quick update. First of all, I should really say sorry that I've left such a gap between my postings. I've had quite a lot on the last couple of, the last month really. I've been away. I've also been out on excavation as well. So unfortunately, I've not had an awful lot of time for painting, but I have managed to finish another unit. This time. I'm calling these Imperial Cavalry, but as you can see they are definitely Imperials with a bit of a Spanish look. They're wearing the Morion or Cabasset helmets. I think these are probably Morions rather than Cabasets. Cabasets I think are supposed to be a little bit smaller helmets that were used during the 30 Years' War, and I think they were used by most parties. I think they're often seen with Spanish armies or Spanish or Netherlands armies, but actually I think they were used by lots and lots of different armies during the 30 Years' War. I've gone for a purple colour on these. It's a little bit more, I suppose, papal colour. And these are expected to be used as Imperials, but again, they probably could be used for the Protestant armies as well, just as easily. These actually represent a bit of a mistake. I wasn't really intending to sort of buy these on the basis that they were just something that I came across that looked interesting, so I thought I'd purchase them, and they'll make another unit. So looking at my units as they stand, I've got them in 6s. I always have a couple of extra figures because Essex always do them in 4s. So at some stage I'll buy another set of figures, and then these will be filling out to make the unit up to, well, hopefully up to 12 really. I'll get some command stands as well sorted, but generally speaking, unless they're a special cavalry unit, they're just in 6s like this. And as you can see, they go with the other Imperial cavalry that I've done already. And again, there's more to do with these really. I'll need to do some more cuirassiers at least. In terms of the Swedes, I'm going to need to do some Saxon cavalry to go with them. I believe I need arquebusier, and they again will probably look quite different. I've also got Hackapelita to paint, and I'm looking around for those. I'm looking preferably for figures with fur caps, but again, actually, I've seen a lot of images of Hackapelita pretty much looking like these figures, except in green. So I might go for a mixture, I don't know yet. We'll see how we go. As usual with the Essex figures, they're nice figures. Unfortunately, they are pretty much just one pose, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, again, I could mix them up, but I've actually stopped. I've stopped myself from mixing the poses on the basis that you can't really see much of a difference in terms of the figures on the table at 15mm, and there's something about having figures of the same pose together which makes quite a nice unit on the table if it's seen from a distance. And obviously with the same colours and what have you, they sort of hang together quite nicely. So it's not that I don't want to put figures of mixed pose together, it's just that I think it might not necessarily be what I'm looking for in the first place. Unlike 28mm figures, for example, which are all in separate poses and look quite different from each other. So yes, looking at next set of figures, possibly some Saxons, because there was an entire Saxon force at Breitenfeld, and I'd like to put those out as well. Just as an aside, talking about things to do with the 30 Years' War, recently came across a video that I'd like to reference up. It's called Lutzen 1632. and it's actually a video. I don't know the company who've done it. I've not checked that on the video itself. It just launches straight in. It's a video by Gripen, Gripen, and it actually details the exhumation of a mass grave from the Battle of Lutzen, which is quite interesting because it talks about the soldiers and their nationalities, and it's one of those things that talks about sort of breaking down barriers in terms of the preconceptions about people that fought or were involved with the 30 Years' War. Essentially, when the bodies were exhumed, it was assumed that because it was a Swedish grave, they were all Swedes. And as it turned out, it seems to be more likely that virtually all of them were Germans, German mercenaries, and with the odd person who might have been out of a group of 47 bodies, there was only maybe one or two of them might have been of Swedish descent. So again, very interesting. And the video itself is very interesting, and I would definitely recommend that. I'll try and see if I can get if I can actually include a link to the video on this video as well. So I will try and post again fairly shortly, and get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, thank you.